This is UMass basketball.
I know this. I'm the most animated coach that you've probably ever seen.
Diggins, he'll let it fly. Soft as summer rain. Rasul Diggins grows the UMass lead.
Hey, he's just being frank.
Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of Just Being Frank, coming at you from the Podcast Emporium here inside the Mullins Center. UMass basketball on a roll. I'd like to welcome in our audience, also joining us in the audio form on our WEEI affiliate here in Western Mass. My name's Jay Burnham, voice of the Minutemen. I am joined, as always, by Coach Frank Martin. Coach, good to see you. We're talking directly after a win against BC down in Springfield. How you feeling?
Very short on sleep.
Yeah.
But, I chose the profession, so I can't complain what comes with the profession. And while everybody was celebrating a great win for our school and Western Mass, a great environment in Springfield. I'm sure there was a whole lot of folks having fun at midnight. My brain had already flipped at midnight to Florida State and trying to get ready for this morning so I can have a conversation
Appreciate
with you and obviously help prepare the team here later on today.
I mean, back-to-back games against ACC schools. So Florida State will be coming up on Saturday before we get to that. And really to talk about the game last night, the environment.
Yeah.
You had a banquet earlier in the afternoon. Dr. J, Julius Irving, was one of the honored guests. Give me, I guess, some background as to, what took place before the Boston College game itself.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame in partnership with the Rotary Club of Springfield and the City of Springfield, they put on a community service event luncheon every year, and they honor people. Well, they yesterday, I go every year.
Yeah.
Yesterday they honored Julius and Dennis Gagnon, who's a UMass grad, played football here, who's become a very successful businessman, so we, UMass always has a table there. UMass Athletics purchases a table, and we had some alums, donors, administrators. We're all there, and the folks that are generous, they always allow me to say some words, which is I'm very thankful for. But it was a sold-out crowd, and get a chance, like I told the crowd, the fact that I can call Julius a friend now, and he's the reason that I chose basketball over football when I was 11 or 12 years old, is for me personally is an unbelievable thing, and I represent his university now, and but that was keep me busy all day, which was good. So run there in the morning, do that, run back, shoot around, run home to put on my outfit. To run back, to get on the bus, to drive down, walk in, Julius addressing the team in the locker room, which was awesome for the players. When I walked in with him and I said to the players, I can just see their faces. They're like, oh, that's Dr. J, because they had no idea who's coming to speak to them. So it was a heck of a night, and obviously figuring out a way to win the game culminated a great day.
It's just so cool to see Julius. I know he's a down-to-earth individual, but he has this air of aristocracy, the way he carries himself. And so seeing him walk around the arena and everybody just in awe as he makes his way through and shaking hands and saying, hey, it's just really, truly awesome to see.
He's always had, whether he was in his uniform on the court playing, whether he was filming the movie The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh,
Never seen it.
You never saw
no,
that
I got to
movie?
watch that
What
one.
is wrong
I know.
with you?
I'm going to make a note right now. Okay.
Or whether it's at 75 in his suit walking through an arena, there is an aura of class that he portrays. And I said this to our players, and I said this at the luncheon yesterday. The NBA back in the late 70s was in disarray. Their NBA Finals games, they weren't even played on live television. It was all tape delayed at 11:30 at night because nobody would watch it. He's one of the guys that saved the NBA with his class and his aura. And if you ever end up in a room and there's a bunch of older NBA guys that are kind of his generation, maybe just a little younger than him, every one of them speaks about Julius, about what an incredible teammate and human being he was, as to how he taught those guys how to be pros. Rather than teach them how to spend their money and how to party and do all the nonsense, he taught them how to be a pro, how to save their money, how to take care of their families, how to be a man, how to be a leader. Played 82 games a night, traveled commercial, made pennies.
Right.
There's no load management. And then they went on the court and they tried to kill each other because they didn't have guaranteed contracts. That's the era he played in. Yet his class has never changed. And it's awesome. You put me anywhere in a room where he's at, I become a 14-year-old kid again. It's an incredible thing.
So just amazing that he's able to speak to the team before the game. And then you go out and win. 76-74 was not easy by any stretch of the imagination. This is a game that the fans have been waiting for over a decade. What did you tell your team after all was said and done and you hang on for victory against Boston College?
Yeah, I've been talking to our players a lot about playing. We're learning how to, now that we're in season, because there's preseason practices and then you have in-season practices. Now that we're in season, we're struggling in practice with keeping our focus to the finish line. And like I tell them, practice starts when I said bring it in. Practice ends when I say bring it in. It doesn't end when they choose that we're doing something less competitive. And we're struggling with that right now. And that's kind of the way we're playing games. We build leads and we relax. We lose our focus. And and I told the team, I said, listen, we speak about playing buzzer to buzzer. Practice is bring it in to bring it in. Game is buzzer to buzzer. And you gotta keep playing. And yesterday, I thought we were the whole first half in control of the game. Early second half, total control of the game. And then we made some really, really bad mistakes, gave them life. We got in foul trouble because of the mistakes. And then we were tentative, for lack of better words. We lost our way, which happens. But for us to regain our focus and find the path to figure out a way to retake the lead and then protect the lead and win the game says a lot about the character of the guys in that locker room.
You were kind of shorthanded. Isaiah Placid's been out for the last 3 games. Hopefully we'll get him back down the line. Luka Damjanec did not play in the game against Boston College. I think he's been a little bit banged up. You needed big minutes from Dimitri Clerk when both Hank and Sanford and Leo Betty all got in foul trouble, your 2 bigs. 14 minutes for the transfer from Pensacola Junior College, and he looked tough out there. What did you think of his performance? I know you said post-game you've been hard on him in practice.
Yeah, because we need more from him. This is a competitive world that we choose when we choose athletics. This is not patty cake. This is not let's show up and, yeah, Johnny, it's okay. No, it's not okay. We get 10 months with each other right now. We don't get 4 years, 2 years, or 3. We get 10 months. And there's a sense of you sign. Like, listen, we've introduced money.
Yes.
Awesome. It should have been done. You don't get to demand money while you're being recruited and then get patted on the back when you don't compete. That's not the way it works. So he's a great dude, and I've been hard on him because he's earned a role on our team. Now he's got to be focused and consistent with that approach on a daily basis. And I thought that the last 2 days in practice, he was not as focused as he needed to be, and I've been pressing on him. And, it's no different than me at home with my children. They don't do schoolwork or they don't take care of their chores. They're older now, so they don't listen to me as much. But my wife and I, they don't take care of the responsibilities that they're asked to take care of. We're going to press on them. And that's what I've been doing with him. And to his credit, it's his first year of Division I basketball. 3 years ago, he didn't speak English. He didn't run and pout and mope because I've been pressing on him. On the contrary, got himself ready to play yesterday, and his number was called, and he contributed.
Marcus Banks continues to be such a force for you. 29 points. I had the privilege to meet his parents who came up for the game from Virginia. They're amazing people. I mean, he just has that it factor. It feels like when the game's on the line, you needed free throws, he hits them. He doesn't get frazzled, especially late in games.
No, it's like I didn't think Leo played very well yesterday. I'm going somewhere with this.
Yeah, okay.
Leo, Marcus, Jaden Jinge have been our most consistent performers as far as mentally and physical connection. Dan Sanford has taken a huge step forward in that department this year. Marcus has this adult demeanor to him, which is a credit to his family, his previous coaches. He accepts coaching. There's no pouting. There's no moping. There's no rolling of the eyes. There's no negative body language. Everything is about, tell me what you need me to do, and then I'm going to go out there and do it to the best of my abilities. So with the game on the line, I was going to put him and Leo in some kind of action, and that's what we did. And those two guys executed and created a foul, and Marcus made his free throws. But Marcus can really, really shoot the basketball. What we have to figure out, Jay, and I said this the other day, because the game has changed a lot offensively, so now it's defended differently. Everybody defended the paint before. Now people are defending the three-point line. So when you run all kinds of screens on the perimeter, everyone switches out to shooters. So it's really hard to run plays to get threes. You got to get threes off of player movement and concepts, not so much plays. As far as screening for people inside, that still works because you can't switch to the inside because now you put small on big, and that's a problem for the defense. But we as we continue to understand our team and continue to understand Marcus, help him grow, because he didn't come here to be who he is. He came here to get better. And as we continue to help him grow and he continues to evolve as a player, I'm excited to see where that takes us.
I just wanted to mention the job that the collective has done. There was a push. Our guy Pat McWilliams and the group that has really helped kind of grow things here. They were responsible for getting people into that building last night. Did you feel it when kind of the second half things kind of got ratcheted up? What advantage is that? I mean, that's something that we obviously want to get back to at the Mullen Center, but it had to feel good for you, for the players to have that emotion and support behind them.
Yeah, as a coach, when you walk into the arena, you either feel a vibe or you feel nothing. I walked out there yesterday. I felt a little vibe. Once the game starts, you can be sitting behind me yelling at me. If I don't know who your voice is, I don't even know what you said. Your ears are trained to listen to the voices of your assistants because they're at practice with you every day. The guy that's sitting in row one that wants to say stupid stuff, 99% of the time, my brain and ears are locked into voices I know. I got no idea what they say. I felt energy in that second half in the at the Mass Mutual Center. I was like, holy cow, to myself, I thought, this is pretty neat, man. We got to figure out a way to do this more consistently. Starts with us. We got to play the game the right way. We got to win. And hopefully games like yesterday, thanks to our friends with the Mass Collective that I think started a separate organization. I think it's called the Commonwealth Legacy, if I'm not mistaken. They've done that at a couple of our home games already. We had 300 kids at one of our home games and about 230 at another one. And it's youth, young kids in the community, organizations, schools. And they did a great job of, and it's not like freebies. I think there was about 3,000 tickets purchased, 2,800 or something, and then distributed to these youth organizations, and then getting those kids to come to the games. Hats off to the commitment that Pat and his crew made.
I'll put a link to their handle and page in the show notes here for the podcast. So you go on, you beat rewind. Saturday, we talked last week before the game against Lowell.
Yeah.
You take down Lowell 80-60. Now you've beaten BC. I mean, the fans would love to see this game every year. Separate conversation, right?
Yeah.
You win against Harvard, so you've kind of covered the Commonwealth games that were on your schedule this year of teams in Massachusetts. That's got to feel pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you want to play your in-state schools. That's a double-edged sword. Year like this year where you win them all,
It's great,
pretty good. You lose a couple of
Yeah.
them, your fan base don't like it,
Right.
and understandably so. But I think for a state like Massachusetts, where basketball is so prevalent, the Celtics, the history of championships in basketball in this state, I think it's powerful. Out of respect to all the high school coaches, they got great coaches up here. Great coaches up here at the high school level. And being able to play your in-state schools, I think I would hope generates a level of interest because you got so many good players at the high school level in the state. So, and well-coached players at this, like Jaden Jinge. He's so prepared from his first day in college.
He started
so
for you
prepared
as a freshman.
So, and not just started on a bad team, started a team that won 20 games.
Yeah.
It's out of respect to that, it'd be awesome if we can do that. Now, I'm not into politicking publicly to force people to play games they don't want to play. BC has to make that decision. On the contrary, I'm just thankful that they agreed to do it, that Earl administration didn't back out of that game. They could have. They chose not to. A lot of thankfulness to them for not running away from it and playing the game.
So UMass has won 4 straight against Boston College, going back to when they played regularly at the TD Garden. You set your sights on Florida State. And before we get there, I did get a question from a fan about Donovan Brown, who we haven't seen a ton of on the court. Mm-hmm. Question being, what does he have to do? What are some of the things that he can do to garner playing time in your rotation, which it looks like you're searching for bench help too at this point.
Well, I would ask you. You want me to take Marcus Banks out of the game?
Well, I do not want you to take Marcus out of the game.
And that's why you have competition in life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not everybody gets to be the CEO. He's competing with Marcus for that job, and he's fighting his tail off. Marcus is just playing too well for me to take him out of the game right now. There's a window for Donovan to help this team. It's early on, we tried to play him at the point. I don't think he was going to play much at the point. Danny and KJ pretty much controlled that. He is our third point guard if there's a necessity for a third point guard. But we've limited him to playing off the ball. And, he's competing with Banks. And so it's
That's an answer. Yeah.
That's life, man. It's I don't know. I've had these conversations with him. That's life. Don't make him a bad guy. That don't make me a bad guy. He's got to continue to compete every single day. Julius spoke about it in the locker room. He told the players. I didn't tell him what to say. He said, if you're on the second or the third team right now, you guys need to do things even better, not to outdo your teammate, to force Frank to figure out a way to play you.
Yeah.
And that's called life, man. It's competition. It's you don't get hired by a company and decide like, well, I'm the new guy here and I'm gonna be the CEO 3 days a week. No, man, the CEO's a CEO. The vice president is vice president. Do your job. And eventually you work and work and work and you earn into new responsibilities.
You've got Florida State. Back-to-back games against ACC opponents. This is a team that we saw last year at Mohegan Sun, but didn't see this team. It's an entirely new team. So I guess what do you know about them? I know we're just coming off the BC game, but how are they similar in size and strength to what we saw against BC? What do you know about the Seminoles and what we can expect here Saturday?
Personnel-wise, I knew 4 of their players. Robert McRae, their leading scorer. His dad's from Miami. Lives in Columbia, South Carolina. Big Boo and Little Boo. That's how we know him. Great family. Signed with Wake Forest out of high school. So it's I knew about him. Somerville, who we played against at Lowell for 3 years. So he gave us the business last year at Lowell. We couldn't guard him last year. And then obviously Shaheed Muhammad, who was in our locker room last year, and then a young man by the name of Wiggins, who I saw play a lot in high school and was a Clemson
guy, yeah.
So I knew of those four guys. Their coach, Luke Laux, he and I have never actually had a conversation.
He's an NBA guy, right?
And Luke played high school basketball for a dear friend of mine, Rudy Coffin, in Clearwater High School in Florida. Luke was just a winner, smart, knows what he's doing. Stan Jones, another good friend of mine, recruited him for Luke to play at Florida State. And then he chose the NBA path, and then this window opened up. So a lot of threes, a lot of the analytic offense, layups and threes. Everything is spread ball screen, dribble drive. Our on-ball defense yesterday was good until it wasn't good.
I was going to say that until 10 minutes to go in the game.
Until it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And so we got to keep working at that. It's one of those deals that we have to continue to. We got first year, KJ, Danny, Banks has been around the block, but Donovan, all these guys, they're Isaiah, they're all dealing with first year Division I basketball. You can say KJ played at Florida A&M a couple of years ago, so he's got a head start on everybody. But it's a different level of player that you're playing against, and you have to be prepared to understand how to take on those jobs.
How do you assess? Let me go back to the BC game.
Yeah.
You went into a zone. It felt like there was a bunch of the and ones that kept occurring and allowing BC to get back in that game. You were up 14 at one point. Zone versus man. I mean, how did you decide to go into the zone when you did, and how did you assess, I guess, each one of those?
Well, when we give them life with three straight turnovers that lead to layup
in the backcourt,
layup and two 3-point plays. Now they're back in the game. Now you give them life. Now they just basically said, put your head down and drive it. So then we got tentative because of the fouls. When I saw that, I immediately told myself, by the way, this is a good thing. All these text messages about great win, see you Saturday from South Florida. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Great win, see you Saturday. It's better than going on social media and reading like how bad everything is in the world. So it's but I can't finish a sentence without my Apple Watch dinging over here.
That's good. I mean, people are checking in. I've heard from a bunch of folks too.
When we got tentative, they started. They sensed it and they just said drive them. So we went zone to get them to slow down, to get them out of that rhythm, and we did a decent job, but we still made mistakes and they still drove us. And the one thing you can never do is get tentative. Tentative is a problem. You got to be aggressive. Aggression succeeds. Passiveness does not. You have to be able to be aggressive.
And I guess when you think about this trip, I mean, really not a lot of time here for you to turn the page from BC. You expended a lot of emotional and physical energy in that game for your team. And now you got to figure out how to dial it up against the equally or maybe even better opponent in Florida State this weekend. So, how do you deal with, I guess, teams traveling Friday? You'll be down there Saturday. I mean, how do you deal with the limited time that you have available to you?
Well, the fact that we won the game helps us spiritually as far as your spirits being up. We ended up losing that game. As hard and physical as it was, guys would have been deflated to a certain extent, understandably so. They were fully committed to winning and excited about that game because of who the opponent was and the arena and the fans and all that stuff. There's a caveat on there that we all tend to forget. They're still students. So
We got finals too, right?
It started this morning.
Yeah.
So last night you go from that game, and which is physical and hard, and by the time that I don't know about the players, I haven't seen them yet, but it was 2:30 in the morning, and I was still wide awake because of the adrenaline that you got going on. So by the time that they came down, they had to get out of bed and go take a final. And they were in finals all day today. Because of that, we have practice at night because they got finals throughout the day today. And then we got to turn around and practice 7 o'clock in the morning because we've got a noon flight to get down to Florida to play a noon game on Saturday. We had to squeeze the game. The opportunity was too great to be able to play this game because of the guys from we recruit Florida. We got Florida guys on our team, and so and the opponent. So we had to play the game. So we had to kind of squeeze it in there a little bit. Not perfect, but you know what? We're going to have to win 3 hard games in 3 days in March. Yep. This is a great preparation for that. It's going to be hard because of the travel and because of finals. We can all sit around and say, oh, man, things are hard. Well, guess what? You know, my life at 59 is a lot harder than my life at 18. And it's good that our guys have to go through this. It's going to make us better.
That's a route you choose.
Don't sign up for things that you don't want what comes with it. You don't want the responsibility. Don't sign up for the job. Go do something else. Be a banker. I did that. I hated it. Everybody was saying there's nothing I've disliked more in my life, Jay, than when I worked at a bank and the people would line up at 4:59 to make sure there's a line to go punch your card because you had to punch your card in and out. At lunchtime, there'd be a line. Noon, back, go eat lunch. 4:59, everyone's standing in line. I was like, what is this? Like, can't wait to freaking leave. Like, I'm into competing and let's get this right. And not my world. There's people that are good in that world. I'm mad at them. It's just not my world.
They're wired differently as you are.
And when you sign up for a job that involves competition, you got to be good at it.
Yeah. And I guess I've signed up for a job that at times isn't great, but at times also lets me go to Florida with the basketball team. And
are you coming?
Yeah, man, I'll be down there.
You sure?
Yeah.
Somehow, some way.
I would have missed that one. Hey, I just want to tell people, if I have to go to Olean, New York, I get to go to Fort Lauderdale. All right,
you're on the team, brother. You're on the team. Wherever we go, you're in.
So, final thoughts here. I know you're hearing from a lot of people about the BC game. You know, obviously, the people are chatting about it online. I mean, this is, I feel like just for the state of UMass, state of the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
The basketball in general, I think, just from maybe it's just because the algorithm I'm in, whatever, online, but people are talking about Massachusetts basketball, just the game itself, because of how hard it was fought last night.
Like, Jay, I understand. I don't like being around negative people. Yep. I can't stand it. That's why I really don't get on. So I do social media to read what you say. Yep. I don't read whatever gossip people I don't know say. I don't read what people think about me. I don't need approval. This 42 years in the business. I've got an army of allies administratively in the world of coaching and of present and former players. I don't need reinforcement from the guy in row 3 that doesn't like my substitution patterns. He's got his right to complain. I'm not mad. I just don't need his reinforcement to give me a peace of mind. I get it, man. I understand. When I took the job here, I listen, I told Ryan Bamford, okay, my first day on the job, I said, we got to change this. He says, what do you mean? I said, I came here with South Carolina coming off a Final Four, and I prepared my team as if we were going into a Big 12 school, and there was no one at the game.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe this. This is not the UMass that I always watched on TV. And UMass, they had a good team. That's when Matt had the big kid, and T.J. Weeks was a
Trey,
young kid, Trey Mitchell, and the guard that ended up going to Missouri, and they were good.
Ronnie, yeah.
Yeah, and I after being here for 4 years, I understand. I get it. I don't do the social media attack people stuff. Not my thing. If I don't like what you say, I'm not commenting on social media. You and me are going to have a conversation. And it can be a positive one, or it can end up
being an uncomfortable. That's regardless to me. What we have to do is we got to get away from the negativity. We got to get to some positive stuff. And that starts with us in our locker room. We got to have positive guys. We got to have guys that are fearless of the moment. We got to have guys that work and compete, not pout and complain, and go about their business in a consistent way. That's what Jack Lehman did here. That's what John Calipari did here. That's what Bruiser Flitt did here. That's what Travis Ford did here. That's what Derek Kellogg did here. And I'm not trying to omit coaches. I'm just going through the guys that have had a high level of success when they coached here. We have to do, that's on us. That's on nobody else. We have to do that. And it's been proven that if we do that, fans are going to come watch us play. It is what it is.
So I'm not into the negativity. I just hope that a game like yesterday, that people actually came to see us play, they can sit there and say, man, this is a fun team to watch. It wasn't perfect. They got 10 new players. How is it going to be perfect? But they play really hard, and they got courage, and they believe. Be excited about coming to be a part of something like that.
It was a great night, Coach. That's our time. We'll see you down in Florida. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks so much.
Your tan is already getting
I can't wait. He is head coach Frank Martin. He is always just being Frank. My name's Jay Burnham. Until next time, we'll see you from Amherst.